Okay, guys, I'm going to give you some important support and resistance levels to pay attention to for Bitcoin. I'm also going to cover, as you read in the title, so it's not that Bitcoin has to crash to stop inflation. It's that in order to stop inflation, it's going to crash Bitcoin. And I'm going to cover this in detail. This was a tweet I made. This was December 14th. I said RSI MACD looks bullish on the 2 and 3 hour. However, I'd like to point out we have strong resistance above with matching targets on both H1 and the C1 chart. I say on your first point to possibly get rejected was around 47,976, this yellow line. You can see we had matching targets here. And then if we push higher, your next point to get rejected is around 48,600, matching targets on H1 and C1. And you can see how this played out. We ended up getting rejected. This is where we got rejected the first time, and we got rejected the second time. So again, these charts do help you know when to get it in and out. Right here, we got rejected at this line at 48,600 as expected. On the H1 chart, you can see we got rejected at the same point, 48,600, and you can see currently we're holding support right here at 47,618. Now I will come back at the end of this video and I'll give you some price targets to pay attention to. This video I put out, this was on November 17th, talking about this chart. If you want to go back and watch it, I'll put a link up to it now. This is published chart, published this on November 14th, and what I was expecting was, since we crossed this, I was comparing this blue fib circle to this yellow fib circle. When we crossed this yellow ring, we had a drop. We crossed this next yellow ring, we had a major drop. So I was expecting we cross this ring, we get a drop. And you can see what happened. We crossed this ring, we came down. We already broke key support, and now we're right at this ring. This is the actual chart. And I would like to point out, just like I said, guys, I mean, if you compare the blue fib circle to the yellow fib circle, it's playing out identical. We got a pump at this ring, right? We got a pump at this ring. We got a pump at this ring. Got a pump at this ring right here. We cross this ring, we got a drop. Cross this ring, we got a drop. And at this ring, we had a major drop. And we're right here at this ring about to cross it. So if I zoom into this section right here, you can see we're actually moving down this ring. The next daily candle open will be past a ring. We could move down this ring. We could cross the ring and drop. Hey, if I'm wrong, maybe we pump. But just based on this previous fib circle, it seems likely we would get a drop. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I would like to point out, when I created this chart, again, it was back on November 14th around this time. I had no idea that the Fed was going to have a meeting today around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here where we happen to be at this ring, what are the chances? So again, these rings are just points to show you where something could happen. And based on the previous yellow fib circle, it seems likely. And remember, guys, if we break the support level, this is possible huge head and shoulders playing out. Your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, this could, if this breaks, guys, we're coming way the hell down. But just to point out, the Fed chair is giving a speech today, and this right here, the Federal Reserve is expected to take a very big step towards its first rate hike. And guys, if the Fed comes out, and let me see down here, it says the Fed chair is expected to sound hawkish, tightening mode. See Jerome Powell. So at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday, that's today. So he's going to be giving a speech. So if he says he's going to raise interest rates and taper off the money sooner, guys, that is bearish for the markets. And I'm going to show you this in some other charts. But if the markets come down, Bitcoin's going to come down as well. Bitcoin follows the U.S. markets. So the U.S. dollar, I think there's a misconception. I'm going to cover this as well. Look, I read a lot of the comments, and it seems people that are in Bitcoin, they hate fiat. They think the U.S. dollar is trash, it's going to zero. And with inflation, they think, oh, well, the value of the dollar is dropping. That is not true. The value of the dollar is going up. You can see right here, the U.S. dollar has already pushed up a total of almost 8%. So the value of the U.S. dollar is going up. And look at the inverse correlation between the U.S. dollar and Bitcoin. When the U.S. dollar dropped almost 15%, Bitcoin pushed up around 2,500%. The U.S. dollar pushed up almost 11%. Bitcoin dropped almost 84%. The U.S. dollar dropped a little over 13%. Bitcoin pushed up around 1,474%. And you can see currently, if the U.S. dollar pushes all the way up 16.60%, that's going to bring Bitcoin down at least 82% from its all-time high. Again, you can see the dollar's pushing up. Remember, if the U.S. dollar is pushing up, one reason for this is because smart money, the whales, they're jumping out of stocks, and the U.S. dollar will be a hedge against the markets. If the markets crash, people will jump into the US dollar. If the dollar continues up, Bitcoin's going to continue to come down. And one of the misconceptions, I think why people think the US dollar is dropping in value is because of inflation, but that is not the case. One example of this is shipping containers. Prices skyrocket. So it was, let's see, a year ago to ship one 40-foot container cost around $8,400. That price has gone up like crazy. It went to $12,000, then it went to $20,000, and currently to ship a 40-foot container, let's see right here, it costs as much as $23,000 to $24,000. So the prices to ship these goods, it costs more money to ship these goods, and the price that they're passing on the increased price to the consumers, and that's why the prices of stuff have gone up. But that does not mean the U.S. dollar is dropping in value. The U.S. dollar is actually pushing up. Another example, so I need you to understand that Bitcoin moves with the U.S. markets. Now, this is the Dow Jones right here. This is Bitcoin. Now, the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the NASDAQ typically move together. But what I want to show you is when the Dow Jones dropped, now I have this on line drawing, you can't see the wicks, but just on line drawing right here, the Dow dropped around about 37%, right? Bitcoin dropped a total of, let me move this up a bit. Bitcoin dropped a total of, I know it's more like 68%, but this shows 53% on line drawing. But look what happened when the Dow pushed up. The Dow pushed up almost 96.5%, close to 100%. Bitcoin pushed up a total of around 1,300%. So my point is Bitcoin does follow the markets. So if the markets start coming down, Bitcoin is going to follow and come down as well, and that's also going to push the U.S. dollar up. People can be jumping out of the markets into the U.S. dollar. Remember, the stable coins, they're not pegged to the Mexican peso or the Russian ruble. They're pegged to the U.S. dollar, the world reserve currency. There's a reason for that. And this right here, I'll put this on the website soon. This is a chart I was working on. I was trying to get a fib circle to fit all of the price action for the Dow Jones since its inception. And it's pretty interesting. Notice we found support here, resistance. This was when we had, this was the Great Depression, right? We came all the way down, we found support, pushed up as resistance. See how well respecting these rings right here? Resistance, support, resistance, support. You got a little pump here, got a pump here. We found resistance, came back down as resistance, and look where we're currently at right now. Let me move this out of the way. Right here at this ring right now, which means something major could happen. If we got a major rejection here, push above it became support. So it's possible we get rejected at this point and start moving down. So again, I will put this on the website soon, but I spent hours and hours trying to get a fib circle to match, and this is the best I could get. But it's just amazing to see how well price action back here in the 1900s, and price action is matching perfectly between what 2000 to current price action. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. Something can major. We could be topped out right here if you come down. The other thing is Tether and Evergrande. So Evergrande's already defaulted on their debt. And you can read these articles. I'll have this in the description. But Evergrande defaulted. And there's some suspicion that Evergrande is tied into Tether. Evergrande in China is a looming risk to Tether. Tether says it doesn't hold short-term debt from the struggling developer, but that doesn't mean Tether holders aren't at risk. And you can read this. Stablecoin issuer Tether this week declared that it doesn't hold short-term debt issued by troubled Chinese real estate developer Evergrande. Since Tether doesn't disclose specifics about the commercial papers it substantially backs as stablecoin, this is a bit like serving a house guest a sandwich and loudly assuring them that it's absolutely not made from diseased horse meat. So anyways, there is a possibility that Evergrande and Tether are connected. And since Evergrande defaulted, this could be really bad for Tether if this is the case. So look, you do what you want. I would not use Tether. If I was in Tether, I would jump into something like USDC or anything but Tether. But again, there's so much stuff happening right now, And again, with the Fed chair, watch today. You know, Jerome Powell, if he says they're going to start, you know, if they're going to push the tapering off further, and they're going to keep printing free money, and they're not going to raise interest rates, guys, that's going to be bullish for the markets and bullish for Bitcoin. But if he says they're going to start raising interest rates sooner and tapering the money off more, guys, that's going to be bearish for Bitcoin. And I'm trying to show you a possibility. Doesn't mean it has to play out, guys, but I was right about this one. You know, right here, when we cross this ring, this is where you should have got the hell out. And we're right at this ring right now, and we are potentially in a huge head and shoulders pattern that could potentially be playing out. And if we break down, guys, your target is all the way down here. We got the 300 weekly moving average right here. You've got this ring right here that we broke down from. I covered those previous videos. And you had the point we pumped from, right? The point we pumped from, we could drop down to, just like happened back here. We pumped from this point, and when we drop to the point we pumped from and the 300 weekly moving average. So a lot of confluence down there. It does not mean we have to hit that target. I'm just showing you that if we do drop and it gets really bad, that would be a point to watch, guys. There's a lot of confluence. If it gets really bad, this would be the bottom, in my opinion. And again, it does not have to go down that far, but it's good to have these targets available just in case. So let me give you some price targets real quick, guys. So look, you can see we did get rejected right here at 48,630. So your current resistance right now is 47,918. If we drop your next support level to watch, it's going to be around 46,260. If you watched the previous video, guys, 44,728 is going to be very strong support. If we push up above 47,918, your next strong resistance is going to be right here, 48,800 on the H1 chart. So you can see we're currently holding support here. So if you push back up, your resistance is now 48,715. You push above that, your resistance is now 50,174. I find that very unlikely. Anything's possible, just showing you that target just in case. If we break 47,580, your next support is going to be 46,969, and then your next support level below is going to be down here around 44,407. But remember, at any point, if we break this support level right here, this yellow line, I know I got a lot of stuff on this chart, guys, I apologize, but at any point we break 42,150, that means we are going to be breaking down from this huge head and shoulders, and your target is down here. Another target, the head right here. You go from the head to the neckline, and you pull this down, and that brings you all the way down here to the 300 weekly moving average. Another indicator showing a possible drop that far. But guys, that's pretty much it. If you do want to access these charts, the website's optimalcrypto.com. Link will be pinned in the first comment and description. I have stocks. $49 a month to get access to Bitcoins, altcoins, precious metals, Discord, and Twitter. And then I have tutorials teaching you this method of charting I came up with, so you can create these charts for yourself. That's it, guys. The next video, trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.